In the hollow of this old tree is the wild bee's hive. A steady stream of workers passes in and out of its narrow entrance. Joining the procession, we penetrate deep into the heart of the tree. Before us, a city unfolds. Its workers include nurses, cleaners, soldiers, builders, food gatherers, and food processors. A single queen bee is the mother of the swarm. There is always intense activity in this city of the bees. The workers rarely stop their labors during a span of life ranging from 6 weeks to 6 months. One of the workers, who has just entered the hive, begins the strange movements known as the nectar dance. This is a signal to the other bees that nectar has been found. The vigor of the dance depends upon the sweetness of the supply discovered. The bees also communicate with their antennae. Returning from the fields, bees transfer their nectar load to the crops of younger workers. Chemical actions within their bodies transform the nectar into honey. This is a drone. He is larger than the worker and has great eyes that cover almost the entire head region. Incapable of collecting nectar and pollen, of making wax, or of stinging enemies, the drone has but one function: to fertilize the queen on her mating flight. Here a drone begs food from the smaller workers. He is promptly fed, but in the autumn, when the supply of nectar fails, he will be driven from the hive. Deeper still, into the innermost part of the bee city, we search for the queen. In a colony there may be 30,000 workers, a few dozen to a few hundred drones, but only one queen. Finally, we come upon the queen, easily distinguished as the largest member of the colony. She is constantly surrounded by attendants who clean and feed her. As the result of one mating flight, she is able to lay fertilized eggs during her lifespan of from 3 to 10 years. These are deposited, one to a cell. Within the cells can be seen the grayish eggs, shaped like commas. In a day, a queen sometimes lays more than her own weight in eggs, and her lifetime output may be well over 1 million. The newborn worker bees have only a day or two of rest. Then they start their lifetime of work. One of their first tasks is the cleaning out of the cells from which they so recently emerged. This behavior is instinctive, as are all their activities throughout life. The cells are six-sided, a form which gives them great strength. These compartments provide both storage space for honey and cradles for the young. Other workers gather gum used for repairing cracks in the walls of the hive. Obtained from twigs, it is stored in baskets on the bees' hind legs. Here the gum is put to use. The bees build their city with precision and maintain it in excellent repair. Soldier bees, charged with keeping intruders out, guard the entrance to the hive. Members of the colony pass freely within, but others are dealt with severely. A bee from another swarm attempts to enter. The intruder bee is quickly thrust out. The soldiers resume their vigil. A wave of excitement sweeps through the overcrowded bee city as the time approaches for a new queen to emerge. Now that this new queen is about to take charge of the community, thousands of bees, led by the old queen, leave the hive's entrance to begin the mass migration known as swarming. Back in the city, the new queen is breaking out of her cell. Soon she will make her mating flight, then return to lay fertilized eggs, thus replenishing the hive's population. Though the migration is over, there is still excitement in the old colony. From her royal cell, a second new queen is emerging. Since there can be but a single queen to a hive, and since the colony is too small to undergo another swarming, the two queens must meet in combat until one survives and the other perishes. While using her jaws to bite furiously, each queen attempts to sting her rival. Since, unlike the worker's barbed stinger, the queen's stinger is smooth, it can be used again and again. There is danger to the hive that both queens may die in the fight. This time, however, one is victorious. Immediately, the winner begins searching for the other royal cells from which more queens are due to emerge. These rivals must also be killed. Through the walls of their cells, she stings them to death. By instinct alone, the bee is a perfect engineer. As it has for thousands of years, the teeming life of a hive goes on. This is the story of one of nature's most interesting creatures. This is the story of one of the most industrious of living things. This is the story of the bees.